Baba Vanga, Easter 2026. The day that will change everything. April, dawn. Somewhere in the Balkans, an old woman without eyes gazes through the walls of time. She cannot see the light, but she sees what none of us can see. And among everything she has said during her long, incredible life, there is one date, just one, which researchers of her legacy link specifically to Easter 2026, not to the year, not to the decade, to a specific day. What this means, we'll figure out together. But first, do one thing. Don't close this video, because what you're about to hear isn't just esotericism. It's a conversation about the nature of change, about what the end of one world and the birth of another look like. In this video, you'll learn three things. First, what exactly Vanga said about major religious holidays as turning points in human history. Second, why researchers of her prophecies highlight 2026 as a special juncture where several predictions converge simultaneously. Third, how real events of the past 2 years resonate with what she described decades earlier. The most important part is coming up. Stay tuned. Vangelia Pandeva Gushterova was born on January 31, 1911, in the town of Strumica, which at the time belonged to the Ottoman Empire. At the age of 12, she found herself in the eye of a storm. Literally, a tornado lifted the girl into the air and threw her into a field. She was found alive, but blind. Sand and dust had permanently filled her eyes. Yet it was after this that she began to see. The first documented accuracy of her predictions dates back to 1941. She named the date of the start of hostilities on a specific section of the front, and it came true. The Bulgarian officers who recorded this did not believe it at first. Then they stopped doubting. During her lifetime, she died in 1996, Vanga received hundreds of thousands of people. Among them were heads of state, scientists, and ordinary people. The Bulgarian government officially funded research into her phenomenon. The Institute of Suggestology in Sofia studied her abilities under controlled experimental conditions. Researchers estimate the accuracy of her predictions at between 68 and 85%, depending on the calculation methodology. This is not mysticism for the gullible. It is a documented phenomenon that scientists still cannot explain. She spoke of Chernobyl before Chernobyl. She spoke of the collapse of the Soviet Union when it seemed unshakable. She spoke of fire coming from the heavens and striking the iron birds over a great city. And this is linked to September 11th, 2001. She saw, through time, through walls, through the darkness she carried inside. If this topic resonates with you, and you want to be among the first to receive videos like this, subscribe to the channel right now. Every week here, prophecies, mysticism, and real questions about the nature of time. Just click the bell. And let's get back to the main point. Among all the topics Vanga touched upon, there is one she returned to time and again: the role of sacred dates in the fate of civilizations. She repeatedly emphasized, great changes do not happen by chance. They are tied to moments that humanity itself has imbued with spiritual power: Christmas, Ramadan, and Easter. Vanga spoke of Easter as the moment when the veil between the worlds becomes the thinnest, not in a metaphorical sense, but literally. According to her, at this time, spiritual currents that usually remain invisible rise to the surface of reality. This does not contradict Orthodox tradition. On the contrary, it resonates deeply with it. Easter is the overcoming of death, a transition, a transformation embedded in the very structure of the holiday. What did she say about specific years? Our researchers of her archives point to several statements recorded in the 1970s and 1980s, where she described a period of great fire and great purification, and linked it to a time when the old power will fall and the new has not yet been born. This is not a year, not a month. It is a state, but a state tied to a specific window, and researchers are asking themselves, isn't 2026 precisely such a window? Now, the most discussed fragment from Vanga's archive, which is directly linked to 2026. In 1979, she told researcher Krasimira Stoyancheva a phrase that the latter recorded verbatim. When the trees bloom and the earth is still cold, news will come that cannot be accepted or rejected. It will stop the hearts of those who are not ready to hear. Trees bloom in the spring. The ground is still cold, early spring. This describes Easter in most geographical regions of the Orthodox world. But why 2026? Because several independent lines of prophecy, not just Vanga's, intersect at this very point. Vanga also spoke of the fourth generation after the Great Bloodshed, and some researchers count this generation from World War II. 4 generations of 20 years each. That's right in the middle of the 2020s. She spoke of a time when brother will rise against brother, and this will be a sign, not of the end, but of the beginning. Not the end, the beginning. Is there a place in the world today where brother stands against brother? You know the answer. You live in it. Now, about how all this intertwines with the reality we see with our own eyes. The year 2022 brought something Europe hadn't known for 70 years, a full-scale war on its soil. Millions of people have left their homes. The energy crisis has redrawn the map of dependencies. Food security has become a term previously used only by experts. 2024 was the biggest election year in human history. More than 4 billion people voted in various corners of the globe. The map of power has been redrawn. 2025 brought a new wave of instability to the Middle East and another tectonic shift in the balance between the West and the global South. And Easter 2026, according to the Orthodox calendar, falls in April, early spring. The trees are in bloom. The ground is still cold. Coincidence? Perhaps. But when there are too many coincidences, they cease to be coincidences. They become a pattern. Vanga did not prophesy disasters for the sake of disasters. She always said, a great upheaval is not a punishment. It is childbirth. It is painful. But at the end, there is new life. There is a question that arises after everything we have considered today. If a prophecy is not a verdict but a warning, then what is it warning us about? Not about a specific catastrophe, not about the date of the end, but about the need to change something within, while there is still room for it on the outside. Vanga said, I do not see the future. I see what already is, but has not yet become visible to others. Perhaps a prophecy is not a prediction of fate. It is a mirror in which we see not what will happen, but who we have already become. Easter is the feast of resurrection, not just a religious ritual, an archetype, an image woven into the consciousness of billions of people over 2,000 years. Death and resurrection, the end and the beginning. Perhaps 2026 is not the apocalypse. It is a metamorphosis. And the only question worth asking yourself is, are you ready for the old to die?